Hey folks, it's Soul with a bit of a reference guide to the cool things that you can make with engineering in Dragonflight. Hit the like button if this is useful, subscribe for more content, and keep in mind that this is more like a summary how-to and not really a path to optimize your performance, and I'm just going to give you the minimal basics on how Dragonflight professions will work. So as you level your profession and complete daily and weekly content and cleanse the world of all life, you're going to obtain specialization points and you're going to spend it on stuff. You're going to learn recipes, and I'm going to point you in a few fun directions. Let's get right into how to create the Dragonflight Wormhole generator. If you want to jump straight into it, you need to spec into the mechanical mind tree here, and you'll immediately learn the recipe. Woo! It is a bit costly. It involves a lot of Ceravite ore and Awakened Order. That's a rare elemental material. Just like other engineering toys, you do need to have learned engineering in the Dragon Isles in order to use it across your account. Fortunately, it just requires a skill level of 1. The quality of materials that you use to make this does not matter, so go as cheap as possible, and you only need to craft this once for your whole account. That's just the start though. This wormhole has a 2-hour cooldown, and it transports you to a random place in the Dragon Isles, making this toy not all that useful. Fortunately, you can power it up. Another 20 points into Mechanical Mind will cut the cooldown in half, and a whopping 30 points into the Novelties tree will let you choose a location to teleport to. That makes this toy a bit more useful as a 1-hour Hearthstone, and from there you can drag and ride to your intended destination. I should also point out that by maximizing the novelty tree, you're going to unlock other fun toys that change the weather and the environments. Engineers can mass res people with Savior, a robot that you can throw down in the event of a catastrophic wipe. As of this recording, I can't determine the range of how close you need to be to Savior, but last I checked, the range is pretty short. I think it was like 10 or 20 yards, which should hopefully be enough to get someone up who's res capable. This requires a substantial investment, maxing out Mechanical Mind. In the meantime, you'll also learn how to create a wormhole generator and at least reduce the cooldown, so you get a little something. Unlike that toy, Savior is consumable. Multi-craft comes into play, as does quality. A better quality Savior can be deployed with a shorter cast time than a low quality version. One of the coolest things about engineers in Dragonflight is that they can create epic bracers on top of the goggles that you're probably used to. These bracers do not have an engineering requirement, anyone can use them, and alongside goggles they can be customized to have one secondary stat of your choice. This is unlike other gear that's usually split into 2 secondary stats. That makes stat stacking with an engineer a little bit easier, and I'm going to take a stab at it and say that bracers will be a big hit on the crafting order market. Goggle recipes are learned via the trainer, but to learn to make bracers, you've got to be a little bit lucky. You gotta put 5 points into function over form, and then learning gear will give you a perk to let you learn bracer recipes when you craft combat gear. To make it clear, you can see in the profession menu which recipes qualify. If you're impatient, I suggest crafting low-level goggles. Just good luck trying to sell those. If you want to have a better guarantee of return, maybe you can wait until you can craft the Pew Gun. At least those don't have an engineering requirement. As for your remaining spec points, you want to put 10 points into gear so you can attach item level upgrades, and fully invest into gears for gear so you can customize stats on your goggles and bracers. If you're all in for engineering gear, it means you're all about the tinkers, the extra effects that do not count towards the embellishment limit for crafters. You'll probably want to consider being what I call a master of tinkers, as in being able to use your engineering tinkers with the lowest likelihood that they'll blow up in your face. There are 2 ways to go about this. The first is to use one of your tinker slots. Between your goggles and bracers are these 2 tinker slots, one of which you're going to want to slot with grounded circuitry. The recipe for this supplementary tinker is learned when you reach renown level 11 with the Valdraken Accord. This tinker will guarantee that your next tinker will not malfunction. However, it's got a long cooldown. I managed to get it down to 30 minutes with a rank 2, so I don't imagine a rank 3 to be that much better. The other route is a long-term investment, but I recommend using specializations and safety features to reduce your penalties as much as possible. So here's what to do. First, under Mechanical Mind, put in 5 points so you can branch off into inventions. Now, just doing this will prevent catastrophic failures of your tinkers. 30 points into inventions will reduce your failure rate even more. Now, under Function over Form, drop 5 points and move to Gears for Gear. 20 points here will help you learn how to make safety components which can be recrafted onto your gear. The calibrated safety switch will reduce failure rates even further. Now this is a long road, but you'll get a load of recipes and stats to help you craft better in the meantime. My personal goal is to attach flamethrowers to both the goggle and the bracer slots. The flamethrower tinker has a 10-minute cooldown, but attaching 2 of them will knock it down to 5. I think the last really fun thing for engineers will be to call down an airstrike for big damage. See? Now this is just for fun. It's only usable once per day and only outdoors, so maybe this would be a really cool thing to use when fighting loads of elites in world events. You need to pump a whopping 40 points right into explosions to access this recipe, but one of the materials to make this is a primal deconstruction charge. This is learned after reaching Renown 9 with the Dragon Scale Expedition, or you can just buy it from someone else. Now obviously I didn't go through the gritty details of making any of these with perfect mathematical efficiency or with any profit in mind, but engineers make some pretty cool things in this expansion that we might expect to have continuous use. So that's all I got for now. Leave your questions and reactions in the comments, like the video, subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.